The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that sees all things new. I am Sonny Jaldon and I am streaming live from San Jose, California.
And I'm Haydee Jaldon, speaking live from High Point, North Carolina.
Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Money and More
Money and More on
on
TNC.
TNC. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Money and More. We are back with a fresh new
Live.
episode. Live
I,
after a long
I
time.
missed this.
Right. Yeah, it's been the past 4 weeks have been a challenge for us. But it's been an interesting ride. Welcome to the US, Heidi.
Thank you, Sonny. And ang lamig, nakakaloka. How are you? I'll see you later.
Yeah, we are on both sides of the United States, no. I'm in the East Coast, you're in the West Coast. Bakit pa hindi tayo nagsishow na sabay tayo? Are we able to do that
Next episode, we will
next
make sure
episode?
na sabay na tayo.
Yep, it's been an interesting ride, but during this break, we've gone through a lot of let's say introspection, no, about ourselves,
Mhm.
about ourselves and our businesses, and new careers and new business ventures have presented itself to us. No? I am particularly proud of my new association, no, the World Financial Group. Congratulations to
Congratulations!
me, right? And yeah, I'm looking forward to
You
be able
belong.
to, yeah, to where I really belong. It's very interesting to get back into that business. And but for now, um, we are here with a very interesting topic, no,
Topic as
something that I
well.
have
Yeah.
no experience about, no, but it's very it's interesting, it's fresh, it's new. I mean, to me, it's fresh, pero matagal na pala tong
It
business
has
na
been
to,
there,
no?
yeah, for quite some
Right,
time. Ngayon
right,
lang,
and
grabe, marami na silang gumagawa nito.
mm,
Especially during the pandemic, Sunny.
yes, as we said nga,
Mhm.
no, the pandemic has opened up a lot of realizations about people and their abilities and talents and how they were able to maximize or their time while on lockdown, no. So maraming
Yes.
buhay ang nagbago nung pandemic, and people have realized a lot of things about themselves. Anyway, so our show for tonight, for this morning, will be about virtual assistant, the intriguing world of virtual assistants, and we have uh, a premier expert, no, on to be able as a guest on our show tonight to talk about this. Let's introduce her, Heidi.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have her here, and in fact, I would really want to thank her for gracing our show tonight. And
Hmm.
I look up to this person. I've met her personally, and I was really inspired by her story. She's the CEO and co-founder of 2XU, an international public speaker, Sunny. She's also a book author, a career coach, and she has a lot of followers in TikTok, about 38,000. Um, in YouTube, she has 13,000 subscribers because she is known as the virtual ate in YouTube. No, she's been teaching people how to become a virtual assistant,
The virtual.
and she's also been featured in Candy Magazine. Um, she is she's been working home because we've talked to her, since she was 15 years old, and published her own book when she was 18 years old, became CEO at 20 years old, and partnered with her boss to start 2XU executive services. And at 2023, she aims to help, this is what I like, 10,000 entrepreneurs to grow remotely and 1 million Filipinos to work from home. See that? How can it help the economy if with this
Amazing
kind of
vision.
career? She's she also has a coaching brand on YouTube where she trains virtual assistants on how to work from home, and an international speaker. In fact, she's currently in Bangkok, Thailand for that event. No, a content creation monster with a blog, YouTube channel, and an upcoming book, Scale You. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud to present to you our guest for today's episode. I know maraming matututo nito. Miss, help me welcome Miss Lian Lai Lacaba. Hi, Lee. Wow, this is quite
Hi.
very long, introduction for you.
Hello.
Ang dami mo nang na-achieve at your very young age. How are you, Lee?
Thank you. Good, good, really good. Very happy to be here.
All right. Thank you, Lay, for accepting our invitation to talk to us. No, despite your very busy schedule, you're currently in Bangkok, Thailand for two
Mhm.
speaking engagements. Maybe we can talk
Mm-hmm.
about that later on. But right now,
Yeah,
we would like to know more about you. Okay, sino ba si Lian Lacaba?
yeah. Like Heidi mentioned, I started working from home when I was 15. I discovered the world of being able to. I started out as a writer. Took any gig that I would see online. I did a graphic artist. I did video editing. I did almost everything that you can think about when it comes to content. I even did not online, but I did like one day videography and then video editing at one point as well in my
Okay.
life.
Wow.
And Since then has only been working from home. I only had one office job, and that was even when I had to do internship for school. But then I've been book editor. I've been like head of marketing. I became CEO of a US publishing company when I was 20. And then when I was 23, I was like, hey, I want to start my own company. I want to start my own business. And that's how kind of my current business to XU right now started.
All
Wow.
right. So from what I understand, you are the quintessential digital nomad. Tama po ba?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Digital
can you give
nomad
us a little
since
glimpse about the life and lifestyle of a digital nomad?
I always tell people it's not as glamorous as they think, just because like you do have to balance. Like sometimes like
Okay.
I've been doing this since I started traveling a lot when I was 20. I would go to like almost one place every quarter. Now I do try to do it once a month. I did it for 2022 where I travel to one place
Okay.
every single month. But there
Nice.
is that balance of making sure you have internet, making sure you have
Okay.
time to do meetings. Like for example, for me, since I run my own business, I'm in meetings almost all day. So there's that balance of like, okay, today I'm in meetings, tomorrow no meetings, so I can run around the city, and then like
Okay.
next day, and then I'll catch up on the next meeting. So it is that balance, but it is pretty fun. It's pretty nice. Just a funny story is just like I knew the call time for this, and I was like still on the train, and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna make it to my hotel, so I got off of a train station. I'm running on my data, and I'm at a random Starbucks. I just bought a
Right.
random drink, and I'm able to work, and I'm able to do this. So that's kind of the funny thing when it comes to being a digital nomad.
Yeah. Being that digital nomad, you have that flexibility of doing your work anywhere, no, as long as you have
Yeah,
internet connection and cafe.
internet.
But yeah, like right now, you're in a cafe. That's
Mm-hmm.
something. You can
Yep,
literally do
Something
your
you don't
business
have to file
anywhere.
leave
exactly.
to be somewhere and
Mm-hmm.
still
That's true. That's
working,
another
right?
thing. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
Exactly.
right. So, what we're going to talk to you about today is the world of virtual assistants. No, and for many people like me, like myself, no, I have no idea what a virtual assistant does. What is a virtual assistant, and why would anyone want to have a be or have a digital
Mm-hmm.
assistant? No, so you are the foremost
Mm-hmm.
expert on that. Let's start with the let's start with the basic question. No? Um, so, what is a virtual assistant? What does a virtual assistant do?
So at the very base of it, so virtual assistant, imagine, I always tell people the story of if you watch the movie Devil Wears Prada, where you're the personal assistant of someone, but all virtually. So you're doing a
Okay.
lot of the usual admin. That's usually where you start, is you're doing most of the admin work. There is like a lot of different branches where when it comes to virtual assistant, you can do, we were talking about it earlier, where some of them are medical specialists, some of them are doing just graphic work, just doing video editing work. So it it's just a big span. Virtual assistant is really just a good umbrella of a term, but it really just starts with you are someone's assistant. You start learning about their business, about what they do, so on and so forth, and that's kind of where usually people start, is an admin kind of VA.
Okay. So, that means you handle. That means if I'm a virtual assistant, I'll be doing things that my
Employer.
employer, is that the right word? Yeah,
Yeah,
my
your client,
employer
yeah.
to do all these things. No, na virtual,
Hmm.
as if I was there.
In the
No.
same office. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As if
Okay. So.
you are the other hand, right?
Mhm. So how big is this space, no? Itong space na to right now. At least in the context of the Philippines, no? Um are
Hmm.
so I'm looking at myself as my own. Am I a freelancer then? Freelancer ako niyan? I mean, is that the right term for that
Hmm.
person? Am I my own company?
Yeah, kind of.
Is that right?
It's interchangeable, like a lot of the terms, like freelancer or am I employed, I'm not employed.
Hello?
For me, like I
All
define
right.
freelancer
So
as
so uh
yeah,
are we there? Okay.
yeah.
Yes, you're online, son. Yeah. What was that, Lee? You're a
Oh,
freelancer.
sorry. I was like, oh, where are we
Oh,
at?
okay.
Yeah, so when you're a
Yeah. All right.
freelancer,
So how
you yeah.
I was asking, no?
Hmm.
You may continue, Lee.
Okay.
I think
So
he
when
has
you're
a
a
problem with
freelancer,
his
it's the way they
connection.
usually
Yeah.
define it is you have
Mm-hmm.
got it. Yeah, when you're a freelancer, you have different types of clients. You're not usually just one-on-one. That's kind of how I usually would define it. You might be doing just project based. You might be just a little bit of like one time, or you're on retainer based for with your clients. That's usually how I define freelancers. Virtual assistants, it's more of a specific number of tasks. Like it could be calendar management, email management. It could be a little bit of social media management. So, for example, for my own assistant, that's a lot of what she does for me. She also
Mm-hmm.
helps me take care of my day to day and my operations. Like when I came here to Bangkok, she helped me like find the hotel that I needed. She gave me a list of like things to make sure that I find out. She helps manage a lot of my travels as well. So it really depends on what you need and what it is. But that's kind of like how I roughly kind of define freelancer versus virtual assistant.
Yeah,
All right.
that's right. I've also seen that now while doing my research.
Hmm.
There are really a lot of things that you can apply for if you would want to have. So my question would be, if you are a virtual assistant, are you required to work 8 hours a day, or you can have it part time? Like this employer, I get 4 hours. This another employer is 6 hours. How does that work?
Again, it's just one of the fun things when you're a virtual assistant because you do have the variety. So you have employers who only need you to work 2 hours a day just because you're just checking their email calendar. That's all they need you for. And for us at OXU, for example, we only have full-time executive assistants. It's not like 8 hour shift. They 40 hours a week, so they can work at any time during the week as long as it gets to 40 hours. So there's that variety. And then you do have clients who do require you to be on night shift, where you're working, like for example in the Philippines from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So it really depends on again their age, but it's pretty flexible. You can find different opportunities everywhere, depending on where you're at and what you prefer as well.
Oh, great. Kaya pala, no, I've heard some of my friends who are into virtual assistant career. They are saying, no, I've got three employers, so I only do 3 4 hour
Yep.
shift per employer. So, pwede pala yun.
Hmm. Yep.
Nice. Son? So anyway, what does it take to be a virtual assistant? Is there a certain requirement? Like for us, no, kami ni Sunny, we really have zero knowledge on that industry. So, but I would want to have an extra job, so an extra pay. So,
Yeah. In other
how
words, how
can
does one start out?
yeah.
How does one start out to be a virtual assistant?
So when someone is curious about being a virtual assistant, that's the first thing that I actually recommend is learn what does a virtual assistant do. So for example, for me, that's why I have a YouTube channel. I teach all about how to be a virtual assistant, the kinds of virtual assistants. And then so that's the first part is research. Look at what works for you. So for example, if you're just looking for something part-time, it could be that you are more of a specialist virtual assistant where you're just, like I said, you doing email, doing calendar. You could be a writing or social media assistant where you're just focused on this one area. Then that you can even start offering your services for free. It sounds weird, especially in this economy. But if you really have no idea, you can test different areas, different industries to see what works and what makes sense for you. But I always say start with one, educate yourself on how to do that work really well. So then when you start doing it, you have knowledge and you're seeing like, oh, this is the kind of work that I want to do. This is not the kind of work I want to do. Um, and of course, there's always just the part where you have to keep developing your own skills through training, through looking at courses, through looking at mentors, so then you have some sort of basically a framework that you can get started with.
All right. So, but for some, no, who doesn't have an experience, if I get to apply as one, um, how do I do that? The employer will train me, or is it ideal to be affiliated with an agency first before I get directly go to an employer or apply to a direct employer?
So there's a lot of people who are always looking for virtual assistants. Like the questions Sunny asked earlier was like, who looks for virtual assistants? In my opinion, almost every founder of a business, or at least in
Mm-hmm.
some management level, you need a virtual assistant. So that's kind of the where you can start. Is you can start looking at. I always recommend for Filipinos onlinejobs.ph. There's always Facebook groups as well of people who just post like, hey, looking for this kind of virtual assistant. Um, there's always also other places like Indeed or LinkedIn. That's usually where you can start looking because later on, as you start having more credibility, as you start getting your portfolio or other people start recommending you, you don't have to actively look. Like for example, for us at OXU, we have referral system. We have people who partners basically who refer other people to us as clients. But everyone does start at that point where you're the one actively looking for people, and then you get to the point where again, people just recommend you, especially if you do a really good job. People recommend you, they refer you, they tag you on those posts looking for virtual assistants just because you've built enough of that authority.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
So you're essentially being your own. Um, you're basically working for yourself. You're marketing yourself, no, as an
Mm-hmm.
expert, as an expert on a particular
Yeah.
skill set, no. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
on a particular skill set, whether it's doing um, video presentations or
Admin, it
managing
could
a
be so, yeah,
calendar,
social
admin stuff,
media. Mm-hmm.
social media
Yep.
management, all
Exactly.
that, no. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll be talking more. Oh no. So if I was a virtual assistant and I'm just starting out, let's say I'm just starting out, I want to try this because I have a lot of free time on my hand. What can I reasonably
Mm-hmm.
expect? You were saying about marketing yourself for free, but what can I reasonably expect in terms of pay? How much does a virtual
Mm-hmm.
assistant make?
Again, it varies. So
Okay.
depending on who you are, your specialty, the industry you're going into.
Okay.
So I know virtual assistants who start at 20,000 or 400 US per month. I know assistants who've done this for a while that they can charge like 4,000, $5,000 a month. So it really depends on that skill, who you're helping really helps. Like some people when they're trying to look for a client, they sometimes find a client who's just starting their business. They can't really afford someone who's really expensive, so they look for a cheaper option. No fault of their own, just because they're looking for that. So then the perfect match will be someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, and then you have the higher tier kind of clients who haven't been doing this, or their own assistant left and they now need a new assistant so they can afford a higher rate. So depending, again, it's that specialty, that industry, and also how you position yourself. That's why it's really important that you keep developing your skills, because the more that you can answer, like if during interview questions, if the client asks what's the most difficult thing you've ever done and you can't really answer it, you don't really have good examples, then that shows lower level of like experience. But if you're able, like, oh yeah, I've had this situation come up, that this is how I was able to deal with it, then it shows a little bit that, like, oh, this person is an expert, they're solving my problem. Because essentially for a lot of people, when you're hiring someone because you're trying to solve a problem. So depending on how expensive that problem is, you can charge a little bit higher. Expensive, basically how expensive the problem that you're solving for your client. But like I said, it is a range. But it's a lot of I know a lot of people go into being a virtual assistant expecting, like, oh, I'm gonna earn six digits. Yes and
Well,
no, because again, depending on how you position yourself, how you start yourself up, you
mhm.
can get to that point. Like if you, for example, let's say before being a virtual assistant, you had like 5 years of experience on a very specific thing, or you've done personal assistance, and you can start charging higher. Again, depending on that level of experience where you're at.
Right. So, so yun po, no? So there is an income potential for those with particular skills, no, to market themselves as virtual assistants. You were saying about 20,000 uh,
A
well, with
month.
PH to
experience,
start, yeah.
Mhm.
right? And a
For that's
month,
for like
okay.
if you have absolutely no experience and you're
Even
targeting
for
Entry
sadly
those,
the ones who are
entry
just starting
level,
their
more or
business. Yeah,
less. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
wow, entry level na
That's
20,000 ka na, and you can actually do that virtually, no? So
Mm-hmm.
it is an income opportunity for those who are looking to do this on the side, or if somebody
For
wants
sure.
to have a career shift,
mm-hmm.
this is something for you.
Yeah.
All right.
20,000 a
So
month, Sunny, more or less, is more than a regular rate of a
right.
daily rate of an employee sa
Mm.
Philippines, right?
Oh, makaka yeah,
That's around
that
769, more or less.
mhm.
So
Yeah, and that's
uh, of an
Mm-hmm.
8-hour job,
mhm.
diba?
For
So
Mm-hmm.
that's really a big help to a lot
I'm
of our.
interested. I'm interested
Yep.
about that space. About the space now. How big is the market? But I mean, sa Pilipinas na as virtual assistants, how big is the gaano kalaki ang mundo are we talking about? How big is the space yung sa
Mm-hmm.
Philippines in particular, no? Filipinos in particular. how big is that space in terms of the market, no? Let's say the market share.
Mm.
I mean, what is our competitive edge na mga Pilipino, no, to get into this space? If your clients are foreigners, let's say mga uh, westerners or what, no? How where are we in that space?
So I know in the last, basically essentially since the pandemic, there's been a
Okay,
lot of Filipinos who started doing this. They've been doing
tama.
remote work. Um, it's kind of just boomed. If you see like really amazing groups like Filipino Homeless Moms or the Freedom Movement, where they host and they train people how to start doing this, how to do them themselves. There's a lot of Filipinos. The fun thing is though, there's always businesses out there that are starting, businesses that are booming, that are growing. It
Right.
never really runs out. So even though you have, quote unquote, a lot of competition, there's still someone who's specifically looking for the solution that you give, how you show yourself, how you present yourselves. Like we've had inside of 2XU, we've had a lot of really amazing and talented virtual assistants. However, it could be like this, 10 out of 10 assistant just isn't matched for this client just because they need someone a different caliber. So then we try to match them with a different client. So it could be that now you might not be finding a client, but you never know. Someone again is looking for that specific thing. Just even just
Hmm.
as you're starting, they just need someone. They're desperately need someone to just do this one
Okay.
job that they really hate or they really suck at, and then you're able to find that opportunity for you.
Yeah, no. So mga Pilipino, no, have that have that market niche, no? Parang may
Yeah.
reputation tayo to be
Mhm.
pretty reliable because of our skills, no?
It has
And
actually
Yep.
boomed, Sunny, during the
mm,
pandemic kasi, during the lockdown, people were looking for other
Hmm.
income sources. And
mm,
this
Yep.
industry has really boomed because, from those people,
Yep.
especially those who were laid out from their jobs, were able to find another solution through being a virtual assistant. So,
right. And many of
I
them
think yeah,
tuloy-tuloy na
it's
sila,
actually
no?
booming
They thought they would start this pang pandemic, pang pasada lang, no? But
Yep. Made
naging
it a whole
career na.
career.
And
Naging career na.
those who were temporarily doing it actually have resigned from their jobs and do this
Right.
full time already. So yun yung, I mean, you're
Hmm.
just at home with a very good
Mhm.
Wi-Fi. You don't have to live with your family or your children, and you're still earning the
That's true.
same.
Mhm.
Di ba ang mahal ng gas ngayon? So, it's really,
Yep.
you can really save a lot when you're
Right.
doing work from home.
And remote
Wow,
work, whether we like
isn't
it or
it?
not,
Just work from anywhere na pala.
right?
It's no
Remote
longer
work,
work
no?
from
Remote
Hmm.
work in general, whether we like it or not, will
Yep.
be is the future of the workspace. And I see that, no, here dito kami sa ano,
Oh yeah.
here in California. Yeah, mga tao ayaw nang bumalik sa office, and I don't blame them. If you're able to be productive and
Yep.
able to do your business, no, virtually anywhere, you actually don't need
Hmm.
an office. What an amazing concept. All right.
Very true.
So, okay. So we will be talking more with Lee Ann. No? I'm sure she has plenty of more stories, more real life stories of people, of people whose lives have changed because of this business. And we'll be talking more with her when we come back after this break. Stay tuned. The new channel is an online alternative new media platform of online shows for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on the screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you.
TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our channel is a responsible global 24/7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity.
All right. Please watch Money and More. You can watch it live or on replay on Facebook and YouTube. Follow us on IG. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search TNC Now. We are airing Tuesdays at 4:30 uh, Pacific Standard Time, on Tuesdays 8:30 p.m. Philippine time. For
Yeah, and
sponsorship,
of course,
mhm.
we are also um, we are also receiving sponsorships, and if you would want us to advertise your companies, please email now at thenewchannel.com or send us a direct message. Enjoy these life-changing shows because we made them specially for you.
All right. So,
Back.
welcome back, everyone. We are back, and we are having this conversation with Leanne. Uh, oh, uh, Leanne, the virtual ate. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay,
can
Leanne
hear you.
Yep.
Lacaba,
Yeah,
the
that's
the
me.
virtual ate. Okay. So, Leanne, you have been a digital nomad for the past
Mm-hmm.
15 years.
Probably 10
You
years
said
now.
over
Ah,
10
yeah,
years.
correct.
So
Yep.
bago pa
She
nauso
started when
ang
she was
work from
16.
home, tama ba? Bago pa nauso ang work from home in 2020, you've been
Yeah.
doing that, no?
Oh,
Yung remote work na
Yep.
gano'n. So you're a
Yep. Yep.
trailblazer if that's the case, no? So in your experience, you probably met yung mga people and personalities, no? Interesting people and personalities who have their own stories.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about? Can you tell us about the people whose lives have, let's say, changed because they got into this business? Okay, baka may mga anecdotes ka dyan or stories that have, you know, na nagbagong
For
buhay
sure.
dahil sa negosyo na to or dahil sa'yo.
Yeah. So for most of ours, so I have two sides of stories basically. So I have people who I was able to help because of my YouTube
Okay.
channel, and that actually funny enough, there's like there's people from all over the world, like from India, from Africa, from also of course the Philippines, from the US, who found my channel, started learning about how to be a virtual assistant, and they comment all the time on my posts or on my YouTube channel, or they even chat me on Instagram. I'm like, hey, thank you so much for your video. I was able to get a client. This blah blah blah. I was able to help. But like my favorite stories are of course the ones that are from fellow Filipinos, because it's one of my own passion is be able to help Pamilya Filipinos work from home. So I've had stories where, of course, exactly earlier what we're talking about, like new moms who had to leave their job because they have to take care of their kid at home. They don't know what else to do. They started doing virtual assistant work. Now they have that good balance of like being there for their baby, not having to go back to work after 3 months, and being able to see them grow up, see take care of them, not have to worry about having to uh, funny side stories of like moms who don't even have to they don't have time to take a bath, but then they're able to work anyway. Stories like that. I've had people who had to suddenly drop out of college, don't have like that they, college degree basically, but then they can get started becoming a virtual assistant. They can go into this pathway. So it's such an amazing opportunity for people who think that they don't have anything else to do, just because it's easy to learn. There's a lot of resources out there. There's
Mm-hmm.
ways we can get. There's always businesses that are starting, that are growing, that you can help. They can provide the solution that you're able to provide. And again, it's just a beautiful thing whenever I see a lot of people comment or share their stories. I'm like, hey, because of this, I've been able to change my life.
Wow. And your life have changed actually. You have a
Hmm.
very interesting story. Would you want to share a little bit of that, Ian?
Which part gives more a lot of my
When you yeah,
of my
when
own
you
history.
survived from Yolanda and then you
Hmm.
started with this.
Hmm.
So That was a very good
So
story to tell.
So like I said earlier, when I did start when I was 15, I had my own blog at that point, and then I was in this Facebook group for a lot of bloggers, and a lot of people I was sharing my story with, I was sharing my posts with, and one of them said like, "Hey, can you go ahead and ghostwrite for me?" Ghostwriting is basically when you write a post for someone and then it gets published with their in their own name, so it's not really your name. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do this, but I'll figure it out. And that's kind of been the life path that I always go yes and yes. Yes, I don't know what this is, but then I'll just figure it out afterwards. And then, like I mentioned, when I was 18, I suddenly went through Typhoon Yolanda. I'm originally from Tacloban, so the typhoon basically brought literal waters into our home. At one point, the water was up to here with me towing already because the water already rushed into our house,
Oh,
and we survived that basically. And then after like 6 months after that, that's when I landed the job, full time, my first full time job as a book editor at the U.S. book publishing company. And then I became manager of that, became head of marketing, and then I got to the point where when they needed someone to start becoming CEO, I wanted to be trained. I wanted to have that background. So then that's why by the time I was 20, I was already running this publishing company. So most of, like I said, most of the stories that I've had, it's really just me taking and grabbing what I can, just because like, oh, well, this is a new thing that popped into my life. Let's do this. And then I did the publishing company for about 3 years, and then I started doing a lot of speaking gigs, like basically
mm-hmm.
like this one where I was on stage, which is a funny story in its own because I'm actually naturally an introvert. I usually like I love that's why I love working from home because I don't talk to internet with anyone unless I'm in a meeting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so growing up in that way of like just grabbing opportunities, uh, Thailand is like the third international speaking gig that I've gotten. I'm speaking in Malaysia and
Wow.
Singapore. I've spoken so many times online during the pandemic. It's just been an unbelievable life. Like that was literally the thing that I was inputting in my gratitude journal this morning. I'm like, I'm grateful for this life that I've been able to live just because I was a yes and person of like, oh universe, this is the thing that you're giving me now. Okay, let me take this and run with it. So it's kind of been the opportunities I've gotten, work being able to work anywhere.
Very inspiring. And you made mention about putting up your own business, and this is 2XU. Can you tell us more about it, Lee?
Yeah, so 2XU is the other side of if you want to get started a virtual assistant. So for us, we're a virtual assistant agency. So for us, we have clients who come to us and say like, hey, I need a virtual assistant for my business. So what we do is we do the hiring, the managing, and the training for the virtual assistants. So for people who don't really have experience, we go ahead and give them the training so that they do have experience when they get paired up with a client. And for a lot of what we help with our clients with is mostly going to be in admin and operations. Like I said, for us, it is full time. So you for virtual assistants have the flexibility to work with our clients, and for our clients, the funny joke we always say is if you're from the US, while you sleep your virtual assistant works. When you wake up, things are already done, and then you can get go along through your day. So it's basically Filipinos, but also 10,000 entrepreneurs be able to have a remote work where they are able to live the life that they would love, just like I do.
Great. So we have someone here in the comment section. Hi, King. King Gonzalez is with us, and he says that this is one great earning opportunity for Pinoys. Do they get international clients as well? I guess he's referring to you, Lee.
Yep. So, like I said earlier, like for us, it's only been international clients. There are definitely a lot of Filipinos who are starting their own businesses and need a virtual assistant.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, like in 2XU, we mostly cater to US, Australia, and now Dubai clients. Even we've started getting a lot of clients from different parts of the world. But it's mostly is that it's like you can serve people outside the Philippines, and that's the fun part of it.
Okay, there you go, King.
Okay. You already mentioned that um, if you want to start out in the world of virtual assistant, there are certain skills that you need to be to have. Sabi natin to have, no? What are some of
Or at
these
least familiar, yeah.
familiar? Right. Okay. So what are some of these skills, or is there any particular uh, software? I guess I don't know that that virtual assistants usually use or is in demand? What are technical skills that I need to develop or learn
Mm, mm.
if I want to be a virtual
Um,
assistant?
yeah. So you mentioned two of the three basic things. So one is email
Okay.
management, so being able to clean someone's inbox, respond to emails, make sure that
Okay.
what they see or if the client is attending an event, making sure things are clean. So, for example, for my own assistant, when I said, "Hey, I'm going to Bangkok, let's clean my calendar to make sure I don't have any overlapping meetings, especially since I'm
Mhm.
changing time zone." So, making sure that everything is clear. So, there is a big part of that. It's just calendar management. And third one is just organization skills. That's the main thing that a lot of entrepreneurs need. And this is something that I speak from very much from experience. Is sometimes when things are happening really fast, when there's a lot of things that needs to be organized and cleaned up, that's when we really need a virtual assistant to make sure that things are in order. So learning tools like Asana or Notion or Trello, just to organize tasks, organizing files, organizing the projects, making sure they're in the right places. Those are most of the main skills. There are others like social media management or project management, or I could list on and on and on the different skills. But those are the main three ones. It's just email, calendar, and just organization skills. The rest, like soft skills, like of course you need to have really good communication skills. You need to have a little bit of leadership skills to manage your client, and also going back to a little bit of like just having that attention to detail, because that's the main thing that you need. Is your client is moving super fast and they need to someone to kind of catch up and take action on the things that they've been thinking about.
Okay. Can you point them to some resources that they can use as a new as an aspiring, or let's say a new virtual assistant? What are some of the resources or some helpful, let's say, yeah, some helpful resources that can get them started?
So I am a really good resource. Is advertising myself.
Of course,
Like I said, I have
Let's
my
of course
own
you are.
see.
YouTube channel talking about it. Yeah, I have just search. It's been flashing over
Okay,
this whole time, like my own YouTube channel. I have a course basically on how to be a virtual assistant, and there's also
nice.
so many other amazing people online who have created courses and resources for other people. I always point people to, of course, Filipino home-based moms, just because they have a lot of really good starting resources for live
Okay.
training. I don't do live training anymore. I haven't done it in years. Um, but there's so many people who are just wanting same thing as me, just wanting to help a lot of Filipinos get started as well. So there's a lot of amazing resources out there.
We have a very interesting question from the viewers, Leon. So Paul Morales, hi Paul. Via your YouTube channel, what recent video would you recommend to someone to watch so they can enter the VA world? I've watched this, and yes, you would want to expound on this, Leon.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
a video that I came out with early January was about like how to get started as a virtual assistant. So that's the most recent one. That's where I talk about like the top tips that I've had from for other people as well. So that's that I do have just like how to get started as a virtual assistant this 2023. That's
Yeah,
probably the best and freshest resource basically.
there you go, Paul. So I just have to research on that. She's a lot of videos about that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, no. Well, nag-boom yung the remote work and being a virtual assistant boom during the pandemic, and we're already at the, let's say, at the tail end of that, no, of that event. What does the future look like for virtual assistants? Is there any developments that we need to take a look, that we need to be aware of, no, in terms of the business or the industry? What is happening?
So the biggest thing that happened in the last couple of weeks is the fact that AI is here. Like it's not coming, it's here. So for us
Yes.
at 2 for example, all of our assistants are getting trained on how to use AI, like ChatGPT and other tools that we're looking at, like how to create like graphics or how to generate copy, how to write social media posts without even writing a social media post. So that's the biggest one is um, it sounds scary for a lot of people. Like, oh, AI is here. Does that mean my job's getting replaced? No, that means that you're becoming more efficient. That means that you're able to create more content. You're able to create more output versus that you having to research, having to do things that are already presented to you. You still have to double check, sure, but then it's still like faster than you having to manually started doing it. You're just editing. So that's probably the biggest one. It's just the fact that AI is here and you have to go with it. Don't resist it, because it's going to be make your life so much easier, so much just again faster and efficient. Just because you have this tool, so treat AI as a tool, as a competition, to be able to move your own career forward.
Yes, a little side note on that, no, because people are thinking that because of this AI, because everything that's happening in AI, is that there will be quote unquote replacement, no,
Hmm.
of certain
But you
skills,
did as a tool.
of certain skill sets. But exactly right, that it can actually be a positive tool, no, rather than competition,
Hmm.
no. So
Yep.
so that's what we need to take a look at, or let's keep an eye out on that, no, because that's the thing right now. um Not only for virtual assistants, no, but for everything else as well,
Mhm,
no,
mhm.
for
That's very
everything,
true.
every other industry din parang nag-up end, no, it upends a lot,
Hmm.
especially in the information space, no. But I like what you
Yep.
said about about AI, and actually any new technology as a tool, no, that can help us humans, no, in doing our jobs
Yep.
better, right? And
And
Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly.
so
Mhm.
that's really that's something, no.
Yeah.
All right.
And now, I
So
know, San, I would want to ask Lian
sure.
to talk about 2XU. What's in it for 2XU
Hmm.
To
in the
talk more
coming
about
days?
In what way?
to
Yeah. So
Oh,
talk about your
um,
business now.
oh, so for us, like, one of the reasons why I'm in Thailand is to expand a little bit more on teaching people like how to hire or what are the ways that you can have a virtual assistant. So the talk that I just had last Saturday, I was teaching like how to create a content machine, like how to turn like this is a perfect example, how to turn
oh,
one big piece of
congratulations.
content. Yeah, thank you. For a
Mm-hmm.
blog or podcast or YouTube channel and turning it to different social media posts. So I was teaching people like, okay, now this is when you hire a virtual assistant. I've partnered with different businesses to be able to bring in more, of course, clients and awareness for 2XU. And actually, this is the first time I'm admitting this out loud for a lot of people. I in probably in June I'll be speaking hopefully in Bulgaria. That was one where I got
Whoa,
invited to speak on how to hire virtual assistants. So that's another
that's
opportunity that's coming. So
nice.
that just fingers crossed. I still have to get the visa, still have to prepare everything else for it.
Yeah.
That's one that I literally just before I flew to Bangkok, I was invited to speak. So it is a growing situation, is a growing entity, and it's my baby. Is now a toddler, probably 3 years old. But it's a lot of what we're doing is now focused on just the growth and also on the AI thing. So we're currently developing a product on like different prompts that you can use for ChatGPT. We're developing training right now on how you can use AI and also how to use it as a virtual assistant. So we just have a lot of things that we're developing. I'm really excited about it, and I have an
Nice.
amazing team backing me up. So yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
heard there's an event in Las Vegas this coming May. Will you be there also? That's I guess about digital a
The
digital event.
expo.
Yeah, the
I'm
expo.
still thinking of it just because I have the Bulgaria because I have to when I get my
Yeah.
visa it has to be like 3 weeks before my trip and the trip is in the end of June, so I'm like, okay, which trip do I go to? So it's a debate still.
But the expo is a very big gathering
Hmm.
of those in the digital world, right?
Yeah, 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 it is. So it's a balance. Like I said, being a digital nomad is also that balance of like which trip do you take?
Agree.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so our viewers would be are also very curious. Where can they see and follow you on social media? I mean, you mentioned it, but
So
maybe we can put
yeah.
it down
I,
on the ticker as well. Sure.
Yeah, so basically everywhere it's the same username as my YouTube. It's just
Mhm.
Lian Lai Lacaba. Just upload videos on Facebook, Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. I'm growing on TikTok as well, which is pretty fun.
You are, you are.
Right. We're really excited for you. We're really we're we're going to follow, no, magfa-follow kami sa on these developments, because as I said, this is yeah, as I said, this is a whole new world for
A
me at
whole new
least, no?
world.
Kasi a whole new world,
Yeah.
at least for me at least, no. So it's something that, sige, let's see, let's explore how we can how we can expand on this as well. Yeah, and for our viewers, and for our viewers, it's been great talking to our virtual ate Lian Lai Lacaba, all the way from Bangkok, Thailand, and giving us a glimpse, no, into the very interesting world of virtual assistants. No, as you said, she can you can follow her
Yeah, and for
on.
those who came in late, Sunny,
Mhm.
they can actually watch the
Watch our replay.
replay of the show through YouTube and Facebook. Just have to
All
search
right.
the time. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Leanne, for being with us
Yeah. Thank you
tonight.
for having me.
It's right, unbelievable energy from you, coming
Yeah.
from your trip, and then and here you are, no, living the lifestyle.
Yep.
I like to say,
Yep.
right,
Yep.
of a digital nomad. All right,
Thank
congratulations.
you so
Thank you
much,
for
Lian.
being here, and we'll see
Very,
you backstage.
yeah. See ya.
All right, that was
Cool.
very enlightening, di ba, Heidi?
Very inspiring for me,
Mm-hmm.
because grabe yung mga ginagawa niya for the people, not just for
Mm-hmm.
herself. No, I mean, it was really awesome that her mission, or she would want to help about 10,000 entrepreneurs. That's the goal, no,
Right.
to grow
What an
remotely,
amazing
and
vision, right?
getting about 1 million Filipinos to work from home. That's a big help of the economy.
Yeah, that's an amazing vision, and we are going to be with Leanne on
Yeah.
that journey as well. No, we're really glad for giving us the opportunity to be able
Hmm.
uh, to have this conversation with her. Now I can open a whole new world for a world that I didn't know even existed. And, di ba? Hindi ko alam na meron palang ganyan. Pero yeah, it can happen, right? And that's it for us also tonight. To our loyal viewers and followers, thank you very much for tuning in today. Right? Hopefully, this gives you some insight or inspiration of the things that you can do. Kasi, let's just say, nagsa-start pa lang ang 2023. No, it's only February. No, nagsa-start pa lang ang 2023. So maybe it is a good time for you to start as well. All right?
Yeah, one
So,
way
thank
of, getting another source of income while you're at
right,
home.
right. And with that, thank you very much, everybody. Always remember, here in Money and More, always remember that financial freedom
Is in your
is
hands.
in your hands. Thank you,
See you next.
everybody, and good night.
Good night.